Have you ever felt cold to the bone? The kind of cold that makes your skin go numb, your teeth chatter uncontrollably, and every thought narrows down to one desperate need: find warmth. Of course you have. But what if I told you there were people who turned that cold into a weapon of torture? A living laboratory where the victims were children. Human history isn't always made of golden pages of civilization and progress. Behind those triumphs lie shadows so dark no schoolbook dares to tell them. And today, we're going to open one of the most terrifying chapters ever written. A tale of a hell without fire. A place made only of ice. Picture this. A secret facility during World War II, hidden deep in the snowy plains of Manchuria. It wasn't a military base. It wasn't a factory. They gave it a lovely name: Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Unit. But inside, those in white lab coats weren't healers. They were dealers of death. This was the headquarters of Unit 731, a name so chilling it sends shivers down your spine. And the cruelest of all their experiments was the freezing experiment. They wanted to know, how much cold can the human body withstand, and what's the best way to treat a frostbitten soldier on the battlefield? To get the answer, they needed test subjects, not lab rats, but prisoners, civilians, women, and yes, innocent children. They called them a cold, inhuman code name, Maruta, which means logs. Logs that could walk, that could breathe, that could scream. Now imagine this. A child dragged outside into -30, -40 degrees Celsius, blizzard winds howling, slicing through fragile skin. To speed up the freezing, scientists pointed giant fans directly at their bodies. They stood nearby, clipboards in hand, watching, waiting. Every few minutes, a doctor would walk up and tap the child's arm with a stick. At first, the sound was dull, but they kept tapping, again and again, until thok, thok, a dry, brittle sound, like knocking on a piece of frozen wood. That's when they knew the limb was frozen solid from the inside out. But the nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning. The lobs who survived were taken back into the lab, and here the monsters in lab coats began testing methods of defrosting. Dip limbs into boiling water. Flesh would peel off in chunks, exposing blackened bone. Leave it to air dry. The limb would rot, decay, and fall off on its own. Every method, every result was painstakingly recorded. Screams echoed through the hallways, cries for mercy, terror, pain. But in return came only the dead silence of inhuman science. They weren't trying to heal. They were feeding a sick curiosity on the suffering of their own kind. And the most disgusting part? When the war ended, Shiro Ishii, the man behind it all, and his fellow demons were never punished. They traded their bloody data for immunity from the Allies. The pain of thousands was exchanged like a bargaining chip. History was rewritten. The crimes were buried under the label of national security. And the screams were silenced forever. Today, we live in a modern world. Medicine has advanced beyond imagination. But when you look back, don't you ever wonder how much of what we know today was built on the foundation of silent screams? And has the ghost of Unit 731 truly vanished? Or is it still hiding somewhere deep within the darkest corners of human nature, waiting for the chance to rise again?